I am back with you to read the next two chapters of The Dragons of Blueland. We are on chapter 5 and we'll be reading chapter 5 and 6 right now. And here is the picture for your viewing pleasure. Back to Nevergreen City, chapter 5. High, high over the desert flew the dragon, the hot wind stifling him, the hot sun parching his throat. He strained his eyes to see each object on the sands to make sure it wasn't a man. At last he was over Spiky Mountain Range. Panting for air and water, he circled down fast and plunged through the trees to a mountain brook. He had seen no one on the desert. I'll rest here until dusk, he thought, sticking his head right under the cool, gurgling water. Then he lay down in the brook on his stomach, carefully keeping his gold-colored wings out of the water. As he dried off on a sunny rock, he listened for noises of men and dreamed of how he and Elmer would rescue his family. Once he heard children's voices, but a woman called them together and they went off in the other direction. School picnic, he thought as he shook out his wings for the long, hard trip ahead. He wanted to reach Nevergreen City by morning without stopping. Up through the trees and over Seaweed City flew the dragon. He saw lights popping on suddenly along streets and houses, but he didn't hear a little boy scream, "Mommy, come look at the dragon in the sky!" It didn't matter. The little boy's mother only said, "Chester, I told you to stay in bed." So Chester was the only one to see the dragon, and nobody believed him until later when the dragon affair had become famous. As I remember, Elmer said he lived right across the street from a park, thought the dragon as he hurried on. Yes, it was Evergreen Park, but what if I can't find him? The wind beat back his tears as he raced over Seaweed Bay, over Mr. Wagon Wheel's farm, and the zigzagging brook. He thought he could see a road as the moon slipped in and out among the clouds. He flew to the coast of Popsicornia and followed it southward. Suddenly he felt flooded in light. What had happened? The moon? No, he looked down and saw a beam of light leaping up from a ship off the coast. He violently zigzagged up and down to one side and then to the other, trying to get rid of the light. And here are the people on the boat. Men were shouting on the ship. Into the beam, out again, flooded in light, out of the beam again he flew. He knew that the ship's searchlight had found him accidentally, but as it tried to follow his flight, he thought wildly, "How well can they see me? What do they think I am?" And then, as suddenly as the light had found him, it lost him. He sped on in the comforting darkness, his heart pounding hard with fright. As dawn began to break into the sky, he saw Nevergreen City Harbor, the lighthouse, and, in the center of the city, a large green shape. Evergreen Park, he thought with relief, and he quietly glided down among the trees. No one had been on the streets to see him. Chapter 6. Elmer to the Rescue. Dawn brought Saturday to Nevergreen City, and as Elmer slept snugly in his comfortable bed, he was suddenly awakened by a damp, cold kiss on his cheek. Wake up, insisted a voice. He opened his eyes and muttered, "It's Saturday, no school today." "Elmer, wake up," said the old alley cat, the same old alley cat that had told him all about the dragon and how to rescue him. "Elmer, we've got work to do. I just saw the dragon fly into the park. He must be in trouble. We'll have to hurry to find him a hiding place before the city wakes up." "The dragon? Why, he only just brought me home." Elmer jumped out of bed and into his clothes and tiptoed down the stairs with the cat following behind. Silently they crept out the front door, down the porch steps, and into Evergreen Park. "You look this way, I'll go down the other way," said the cat. And here you can see the pictures. Where could a dragon hide? Wondered Elmer, looking at the rows of trees along the walks, the scattered rocks, the pool, and then the place where the city was going to build an amusement center. A big steam shovel sat idly on the spot marked for foundations. Elmer liked steam shovels and was just thinking of exploring this one when the shovel jiggled a bit. Uh-oh, I wonder why it jiggled. Can you see? "The dragon!" He climbed up quickly into the cab. "Elmer," whispered the baby dragon. I'm going to go back and fix that up. Ready? "Elmer," whispered the baby dragon. "Oh, Elmer." And the dragon burst into tears because he was so glad to see his friend. "The alley cat saw you fly into the park," exclaimed Elmer, hugging the dragon around the neck. "But why have you come back? Are you in trouble?" "Terrible trouble," groaned the dragon, and he explained what had happened to his family. "You'll help me, won't you?" he pleaded. "Of course," said Elmer. "Let's think out a plan. I suppose we'll have to wait until dark to leave." "I suppose so," said the dragon sadly. "But you'll be able to rest right here," said the cat, who had found them by this time. "It's Saturday and the men won't start today. I'll keep meddlers away. Meanwhile, let's work on that plan." The three friends discussed the problem all morning. Then Elmer went home for lunch. His mother was used to his long early morning walks, but she'd be suspicious if he didn't turn up for lunch. That afternoon, Elmer took all the money out of his tin bank and went to collect the things he would need. He bought 16 whistles of assorted tones, 16 horns of assorted tones, 1 cap pistol with caps, 1 ball of heavy string, 6 large chocolate bars, and 3 boxes of fig Newtons. He found his very sharp jackknife and took a flashlight from the kitchen drawer. Then he carefully packed everything in his father's knapsack and went down to supper. He had $7.36 left over from the shopping. "Elmer, what have you been doing all day?" asked his mother. "I haven't seen hide nor hair of you except for lunch." "Oh, I've been over in the park looking at the place where they're going to build the amusement center," said Elmer, which was true in a way. At last the moment came to sneak out with his knapsack and join the dragon at the steam shovel. As he ran down the path, he saw the old alley cat waiting for him. "I'm sorry you can't come too," said Elmer, climbing onto the dragon's back. "So am I," said the cat sadly, "but I'm too old. I'm better off taking care of your mother and father. They do worry so." "Well, goodbye. Good luck." "Goodbye," whispered Elmer and the dragon as they flew up into the air. And that is the end of chapter 6. Next we will read chapter 7 and chapter 8.